Hi everyone, my name is Gat, but you can also call me Gatsby. I like to draw, I like Pokemon, and I like My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. So when you put all those things into the blender that's inside my mind, and you turn that thing on blast, what do you get? The main six of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, drawn as Pokemon trainers. Today, I will be using my artistic abilities to translate Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Rarity from cute little ponies into Pokemon trainers by drawing little snippets of each of their lives in this Pokemon AU. So, fun fact, this is actually part 2. If you want to see the rest of the main 6, that being Twilight, Fluttershy, and Pinkie Pie, feel free to watch the previous video in this series right here. If you like the video and you want to see more from the Pony to Pokemon Trainer pipeline, let me know in the comments below, because I have a lot of fun ideas cooking in my brain for part 3. Cough cough. Luna Celestia Cadence, maybe even Discord. Cough cough. But that's the future and this is the present. So let's get to drawing some Ponymon trainers. Starting things off with the horse who is definitely always sold with her hat in its classic brown color. It's Applejack. Applejack was always interesting to me as a character because I found her and her family's southern United States charm as something very relatable as a southerner myself. A lot of quirks that the Apple family would sometimes have in the show reminds me a lot of the quirks seen in my own, and it would always make me smile a little bit. It is slightly ironic though that I say that because I'm pretty sure the Apple family are supposed to be read as like very Texan southerner, and the furthest west I've ever been in my whole entire life is New Orleans. Regardless of my lack of interstate travel, I want to make sure Applejack's art for today's video looked good enough to win a blue ribbon at the county fair. I had a clear vision in my mind's eye for this piece of her looking out and around the apple orchard, surrounded by, all these little applins, with her having a Mudsdale in the background as her faithful steed, and a dog Pokemon by her side as a stand-in for her dog in the show, Winona. Originally, when I was sketching this out, I had planned for the dog Pokemon to be a midday form Lycanroc, but after some thought, I realized that, its base form, Rockruff, would be a better fit for Winona on account of those two just having more similar characteristics like the floppy ears. But who knows, maybe sometime down the line, Winona the Rockruff will become Winona the Lycanroc. Probably either midday or maybe even dusk form, as I really don't see Applejack having a midnight form Lycanroc. I feel like that'd be too similar to a Timberwolf, and that might be a little, I'm not really sure. It's very Applejack core, as the kids say. Overall, I really liked how this piece came out. I really enjoy the fall colors in this piece. They felt very pleasing to the eyes, though it does have a bit of a somber look, especially at the end. I am kicking myself because of how I drew the trees. I feel like I should have referenced more realistic, like actual apple fields, how they actually look, because they're like shorter and they have like these little support things on them. So, I guess they're not as easily to like fall over or help support their growth or whatever. To bring it back to Pokemon kind of. So in the Teal Mask DLC for Scarlet and Violet, when you're in Kitakami, you can see like all those apple fields set up and how those are set up. Those are like apparently how like actual apple fields look like, as opposed to the more stylized depiction I did in this art here that is definitely referenced from the Applejack screenshot I have in the upper left corner there. Like, it doesn't look bad, I just feel like I could have done better. But, I mean, that's just how it is, how it's like being an artist. I feels like it's very rare to complete a piece that I'm totally satisfied with. I guess one could say this piece isn't quite the apple of my eye.
Yeah, Rainbow Dash time! Time to get 20% cooler and break the sound barrier while being super epic and cool. Oh yeah.
Anyways, Rainbow Dash. She was actually the one out of all of the main 6 I mulled over the most when it came to thinking about how she would be as a Pokemon trainer. I thought about making her a jogger or triathlete class trainer from some of the older games, maybe even a bird keeper of some type, because I didn't want to feel cliche and make her an airplane pilot. But sometimes the most obvious decision is the best decision. So Pilot Rainbow Dash it is. Just slap a coat of red and gray paint on Tank the tortoise and you get a Torkoal. And while I could have also given her some fast flying types like a Tailo or something, I just kept thinking about the episode where Rainbow Dash does get tamed. And, you know, she's having all these animals take these tests to see which one would be, you know, her pet. And it's like the last part of the episode. And, you know, it's a race. And like all these fast birds leave her behind when she gets injured. And it's Tank who comes in and, you know, rescues her. So it just felt right to draw Rainbow Dash with just the one Pokemon for this piece of art. Maybe she has other Pokemon on her, they're just not in this specific piece because how I framed it is kind of more like a photograph. So who knows, maybe they're on the other side of like the camera or the viewer, up to artistic interpretation on that. To make up for the lack of Rainbow Dash owned Pokemon, I thought it'd be fun to draw some decorative art on her plane of a Pokemon, that being Ho-Oh, because, you know, its whole entire connection to rainbows. I thought that'd be very fitting for Rainbow Dash. I also think it would be absolutely hilarious if Rainbow Dash in this alternate universe called her plane the Sonic Rainboom for obvious reasons. Aside from that, there's nothing much else to this piece. After I got done recording, I did go back and add some more decorations to the plane so it's not so plain. But aside from that, this art of Rainbow Dash is done. It's kind of fitting that this one felt like it went by so quickly. You know whose art did not go by quickly for me? The final subject for today's video, Rarity. And that's not even because piece of artwork was necessarily difficult for me to draw. It's just for whatever reason, when I was drawing this piece of her, I was just having a really hard time dealing with my ADHD and like keeping a constant attention span while drawing this. I just kept like zoning in and out, and I wasn't really focused or in the right headspace to draw, if that makes sense. Fellow ADHDers, shout out to you if you've ever been through that. It was just an absolute trudge through the slop in my brain to finish this piece, and it just felt like it took me forever to do. But I'm thankful I soldiered through it because I like how this one came out. I don't think it's necessarily my favorite. I think my favorite piece goes to probably Rainbow Dash. I just like how I rendered it there, but Applejack's is pretty good too. But enough about that. Let's talk about the Pokemon I chose for Rarity and why. The first two I feel like are pretty easy to explain. Carbink is this cute little gemstone carbuncle creature, and we all know how Rarity loves her gems. It's why she got her cutie mark, if I remember correctly. And Perugly is a stand-in for her cat Opalescence. Another shout out to my friend Dungeon. If you're watching this, Hi, Dungeon. Hi. My friend Dungeon on Discord. When I showed my friend Discord group the finished artwork I did for today's video, my friend Dungeon said that, quote unquote, Rarity is the kind of girl to find out it's called per ugly and go, ugly? She's beautiful! And that feels so perfect to me. Like, I felt like that is a good one, Dungeon. Especially in my mind, I'm imagining this happens when, you know, she's like a little girl or, you know, younger, and her Glam Meow evolves, and she's like, oh, let's get Glam Meow's evolution called, and she gets told, oh, it's called per ugly, and then, you know, that scene happens. The last Pokemon I picked for Rarity, however, I feel like might be a little controversial, and that is Leavanny. I feel like someone might say, Rarity wouldn't use a bug-type Pokemon because she'd think they'd be gross, or she would use something pretty like a Beautifly or a Vivian, not something as plain-looking as a Leavanny. And I hear you out, I understand that, and I definitely could see her with bug Pokemon like Beautifly and Vivian, especially when you think about, you know, that season 1 episode where, I think with Sonic Rainbow, you know, where she had the butterfly wings and then, like, Rainbow dashed all over the place, very iconic Rainbow Dash. But Leavanny's whole entire thing in the Pokedex is that it makes clothes for other Pokemon. Like, literally every single one of its Pokedex entries mentions that in some way or form that it makes clothes for little baby, tiny baby Pokemon. And that, combined with its ability to learn moves such as Slash or X-Scissor, I think Leavanny would be a fantastic Pokemon assistant to a fashion designer like Rarity. Another thing is that besides its clothes-making abilities, Leavanny is often mentioned in Pokedex entries to have a strong maternal instinct. And I think that'd also be really helpful to Rarity when she has to watch over her little sister Sweetie Belle, and she can't really give it all because she's like spread thin or busy with her job, but she's got to babysit her little sister. Leavanny can come in and kind of help her with that. I think overall, even though I said earlier that I think Rainbow Dash's art for this video ended up being my favorite, I do enjoy aspects of this illustration. I think one of the main things I'm proud about is just how the folds on the fabric came out. I will say, kind of like Pinkie Pie in the last video, I feel like I could have given her something a bit more extravagant, fashionable, but in my mind at the time it was like, well, you know, she's working, she's gonna wear something a bit more simple. She's not going out on the town really showing off her fashion capabilities. With this final piece of artwork completed, I just wanted to take the time to remind you, yes, you watching this video right now, that you, viewer, you're a horse. And here we are. I hope you enjoyed this video, this self-indulgent art escapade of mine. And if you want to see more videos from me making other MLP characters into Pokemon trainers, let me know by interacting with the video, you know, liking, commenting, and if you really feel like it, subscribing, because those things really do help. If not with the algorithm, at least it gives me a confidence boost to know that, yep, people actually like this stuff. So yeah, if you got this far in the video, I just want to say thank you so much. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, stay safe and be kind to one another. Bye-bye.